Okay, people, who here made a Parler account? Like, at any point. Who here made a Parler account? At least a couple of you did. Oh, wow, surprisingly few people. You know, probably a good thing that you didn't, or at least it wouldn't really matter that much. Parler, for all their talk of free speech, you know what Parler does? Parler bans leftists. Parler bans lefties. Like, they'll just ban you if you're left-leaning on the platform. For all their talk about free speech, you know, it's funny, they bitch and moan about Twitter being pro-censorship, and Twitter has to wait until you try to instigate a fucking coup against the Capitol to even consider doing bans. But Parler, just, if you're left-leaning, they just kapoop. Anyway, Parler, great site, I'm sure, has been fucked. Has been giga-fucked, as a matter of fact. Amazon, Apple, and Google cut off Parler, an app that drew Trump supporters. The company pulled support for the quote-unquote free speech social network, all but killing the service just as many conservatives are seeking alternatives to Facebook and Twitter. So here's the issue, folks. I've talked about it before, but I'm going to talk about it even more. The main issue is that conservatives are like a different type of person. See, normal people can be on Twitter, and they can be on Facebook, and they can have their fun, you know, they have a lot of fun. The issue is, those big tech media sites, Twitter and stuff, they discriminate against conservatives. Not really, of course. They discriminate against racism, sexism, harassment, and the like. But conservatives love doing those things. So it's kind of, you know, it's like, it'd be like if they also like, well, I was about to say they ban pedophile accounts or whatever, but Twitter has like a fuck ton of like far-right Nazi lolly accounts. So I guess they don't actually do that. Probably should get rid of those, but whatever the case may be, because conservatives keep stepping on landmines they're not even landmines. Conservatives keep stepping on munitions laid openly on the ground, painted yellow, to discourage people from stepping on them. And now a lot of them are over on Parler, and then Parler ended up being a hive for far-right insurrectionary tendencies. Now, I want to be clear about something, okay? There are a lot of people who are making it sound as though Parler has gotten hit with the censorship hammer because it's conservative. Again, that's not true. As always is the case, it's getting hit with the censorship hammer because people were just openly talking about murdering politicians on there. Just openly, plainly, massive figures too, not like little people. Lynn Wood is apparently being investigated by the Secret Service. That's Kyle Rittenhouse's lawyer, grade A lunatic, for kind of implicitly threatening to kill Mike Pence, you know, or sort of inciting violence against Mike Pence, because they're under the impression Mike Pence had the ability to ignore the elector results, which is not true. That is sorry, when I say implicit, I mean it's pretty explicit, okay? It was pretty fucking open. Anyway, Parler has turned into this absolute breeding ground for not just insurrectionary tendencies, but essentially just death threats, which, I mean, that's not even illegal. Like, I'm sorry, that's not even legal. Like, if you're making death threats against politicians, you can be arrested for that. So we're past TOS territory and now into, like, this place is a breeding ground for illegality. So it's really not surprising that the following would happen. Google Play took Parler off their app store. Apple took Parler off their app store, meaning that at least on an iPhone, I don't know the way like Androids or Google phones work, but I know that on an iPhone, you can only get apps that are on the app store unless you're willing to go through some incredibly convoluted bullshit. So taking that off essentially cuts off like a huge portion of the potential user base of that website. And then Amazon, which controlled the servers that Parler was being hosted on, pulled the plug. So as of right now, Parler is kaput. Parler it doesn't exist, does not exist. You can sideload an Android. I'm sure because of how controlling Apple is of their IP. I'm sure they're more stringent with this than Android is. But whatever the case may be, by the way, the majority of the people who use Parler are boomers. They're not going to know how to do any fucky shit with Androids to get it on. Okay, let's be real here. Now, Amazon cut them off, and they're kind of floating dead right now. Parler has sued Amazon after, quote, tech giant kicks site off its servers, which is wonderful. Lawsuit seeks order to prevent Amazon from shutting down social media platforms' account. Now, I'm not a lawyer and I don't know the specifics of this case, but I think, in my personal opinion, no shot, bucko. No shot. No shot. I don't think they have any legal grounds to contest this decision. I don't, like, at all. I don't think they have any legal grounds. I don't think it's going to happen. So Parler's going to have to find some other service to host them, but considering the fact that they're essentially a hive mind of illegality, I don't know how well they're going to do that, given all the shit that's going on. And fuck you, Wall Street Journal. You're not getting my subscription, and I don't care when people tell me how to get around these paywalls. Anyway, the real funny thing to happen at all this, as people can't stop posting in chat, even though you know I already saw it. Why would you think I haven't seen it? It's everywhere, all over the news, and you've linked it in chat like 20,000 fucking times since I started stream today. Parler's info has been leaked. Now, when I say info has been leaked, I feel like I'm not being, I'm not fully capturing the gravity of this, okay? Security experts, essentially, I'm not a tech guru, hacked into Parler and used admin status to get essentially all back-end information that was ever on Parler. Parler, where you have to give your fucking driver's license to get verified. Parler, which does not delete messages, but rather makes them invisible and therefore accessible by admins. Yep, lefty, and it was lefties, by the way, lefty security experts have acquired 80 terabytes, fuck you, of posts, videos, and other data, including stuff like location and just everything, all info. So I'm really glad I never made a Parler account. Yeah, that's a lot of child porn that conservatives like to post. Anyway, yeah, they got a lot. Holy fuck, 80 terabytes. Yeah, not people's faces, like full on. Oh, they didn't use their admin accounts? I don't know. There was already information out there about Parler's like lack of security. Wasn't there already a security leak from Parler? Like there was a really poorly constructed site. This happens every single time conservatives get a hold of something. They have no fucking idea how to. Remember all of the like anti-SJW like Kickstarters, and then they ran with the money. You know, like I feel like this happens so often. They're so desperate to make a conservative product. They're so desperate to make an alternative that they just run out there and they don't give a fuck about how it's executed. And now it looks like the shoddy construction of Parler could end up biting them in the face. I imagine this 80 terabytes of data contains a lot of potential illegal content. And I'm not just saying like child porn or whatever like that. I mean like people posting their faces and locations as they do something insurrectionary, or they dates and times, and a lot of really interesting stuff. There are a lot of lefties who are saying that this is a bad thing to have all this information, that like giving this over to the feds or whatever, or that making this information public is bad or something. To which I have to ask you, what do you think anti-fascist action is? What do you think? What do you think anti-fascist action is exactly? Like what? I think a lot of people legitimately think that like anti-fascist action is like fighting people, and like that's it. Like, what are you talking about? Parler is a shit site filled with shit people, okay? Oh, wait, I'm sorry, I need to clarify. I completely disavow everything that's happening, all the hack leak, whatever. But like, in reality, this is a fuck around, find out situation. You fuck around by making a website with no fucking security, and you find out by having all the archives leaked. That is the fuck around, find out situation right now. So whatever, I don't know what's going to happen to this data. I'm not involved in any of this because I don't know anything about technology. I don't even know the specifics of this data leak. All I know is that Parler is an absolute fucking shit show. Just a massive fucking shit show. That from day one, it pledged to be anti-censorship, but was more aggressively, censoring leftists than Twitter had ever done with conservatives. That they ended up getting nuked because they had no interest in moderating their own content. It's funny because the reason why they got taken off the Apple Store and the Google Play Store was because they had all that violent content on there. But Parler's response was that they were going to try to hire volunteers to clean it up a little. That doesn't work when your largest accounts are openly posting like violent intent. When Lynn Wood is getting like millions of views on what's it, Parler tweet up what is a post, a Pete, yeah, a Pete talking about like killing Mike Pence. Like, this is not an issue. A parlay? Wait, is it really called a parlay? That is the most pretentious, stupid fucking thing I have ever heard in my life. A parlay? Really? Oh, I was just reading this parlay from Lynn Wood. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay. Well. Okay. Anyway, do you want somebody to explain the specifics from a tech perspective? No, I'm okay just believing tech is magic. That's fine, thank you. Sure, parlay. The French for verb parler means to speak. I don't care. It's French. Also, why would a conservative platform ever use French? Okay. It's been a shit show from day one. I don't know if they're going to get any pickups from any other ISPs or any other like data servers would be willing to host them. I do know that this lawsuit is fucking doomed. And I do know, by the way, that ultimately the project of making right-leaning alternatives to major social media is not going to work. It's not going to work. It will never work, ever. It'll never work. It's not possible. These conservative alternatives will never function. Do you know why? Conservatives are insufferable, brain-dead fucking sociopaths. Like, why would they want to be in their own company? The reason why conservatives like spending time on Twitter is because their relentless shitposting agitates left-leaning people, or just decent people in general. I've seen posts from people who are like lamenting Parler and Gab and stuff like that. The only reason that it's a nice echo chamber, but at the end of the day, like, humans need interaction with like other real people. And you're not going to get that from like a political circle jerk zone. It's just not going to happen. The reason, like, do you think why would Nazis ever want to spend time on a Nazi platform? Like, what's the point of being a Nazi if you can't like harass Jewish people on Twitter? That's what they do. They're like low IQ, low empathy people. They need the dopamine hits they get from harassing minorities. Like, they don't want to be in their own little zone. Now people are going to Gab. Yes, now Gab is having its own thing. Except, didn't Gab get taken down before and then some other thing happened? The Gab has been all over the place as well. Gab is back now? Yeah, that's what I've heard. If I remember correctly, didn't Gab ban all pornography? Yeah, it's controlled by some like Christian conservative. So Gab banned all pornography. I think Parler did as well, which is another reason why it's not going to be like a viable long-term platform, because Nazis are the biggest degenerates around. And if you've ever gone on any of the porn boards on 4chan, you will find an astonishing overlap between racism and a desire to see white women get fucking plowed by colossal black dick. This is just not a sustainable model. For holding people's interest, you know? They make alts when they go on the regular sites. Well, then the regular sites are never going to die, ever. Twitter and Reddit and Facebook, they just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. These alternative platforms aren't going to function. They're going to continue to be miserable failures. If your problem is with the hegemony of big tech, the solution to this is not to form politically radical offshoots. It's never been a solution. The way the far right grew on the internet is because nobody hacked Parler. Okay, the information was publicly available. Okay, I don't care about the technical details. This isn't a legal consult on the specifics of how it happened. It was a remarkably bad website design, no matter what. The Donald.win just openly posted their IPs in case they get shut down. Wait, what? Okay, I don't know. Look, they're all boomers. I don't know. I can't. These fucking people. Look, can we just agree on one thing? Okay, can we just agree on like one simple thing? The conservatives leaving mainstream social media platforms to go join like alternative conservative offshoots is as pathetic as those guys who claim they're gonna like be no fat volcel for the rest of their lives and keep shamefully posting updates on the respective subreddits every 6 days when they fucking lose faith and blow a nut. Okay, that's what these people are. Okay, they commit, but then they fail again and they come back, and these people always come back. Numbers aren't dropping on Twitter, numbers aren't dropping on Facebook. Recently, a bunch of far-right people on Twitter lost a bunch of followers, but that's because a bunch of Nazis and bots ended up getting purged, and those are the types that follow them, so, you know. They're all going to Mew and Rumble, whatever those are. Yeah, as a general rule, if I don't know what a social media platform is, if I don't recognize its name, I probably don't care about it that much. General rule. Mew, yeah.